Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something we do all day, every day, but almost never really get right: communication. I mean, we all think we're pretty good at it, right? But what if I told you that our deepest, most natural instincts are actually the very things setting us up to fail? Let's get into it. All right, let's just kick things off with this bombshell from Finnish professor Osmo Wiio. Communication usually fails, except by accident. Whoa, I mean, that's a pretty intense statement, isn't it? It completely flips the script on what we think happens when we talk. We assume people just get it. But he's saying, nope, that's the exception, not the rule. And that really brings us to the core question here. How can this be? If talking is like breathing for us, something we've done our entire lives, why is it so ridiculously hard? Why do we so often end up in these cycles of misunderstanding, arguments, and just plain frustration?
Well, it turns out the problem isn't just about finding the right words. The real culprits are a couple of powerful forces that are always running in the background of every single conversation we have, whether we know it or not.
Okay, so first up, you've got this thing called the cognitive unconscious. The best way to think about it is like your brain's autopilot. It is lightning fast, it's super efficient, and it's constantly spotting patterns based on everything you've ever experienced. But here's the catch: it's rigid. It makes snap judgments and kicks you into action before your slower, more logical, conscious brain can even say, hey, wait a minute. And the second hidden force, it's our own sense of self, our ego. It's basically baked into our DNA to protect how we see ourselves. So the moment we feel a little bit challenged or criticized, our autopilot's main goal isn't to work things out together. Oh no, it's to prove that we're right, that we're smart, that we're good. We're literally seeing the world through a filter of me.
So you take those two things, that lightning-fast autopilot and our deep-seated need to protect our ego, and you smash them together. What do you get? You get our default communication strategy when things get tense. Professor Dalton Kho has a name for this automatic reaction: control talk.
And let's be really clear about control talk. This is not a conversation. It's a battle. The goal here isn't connection or problem solving. It's to win. It's to manage or fix the other person and, above all else, to save our own face. It's a strategy that's 100% focused on being right. And just listen to the language of control talk. See how familiar this sounds? Every single one of these phrases starts with you. You are, that's a label. You should, that's a command. You don't care, that's a straight-up accusation. And the classic, you made me feel, that's just blame. Each one is like a little conversational grenade that makes the other person immediately throw up their defenses. Okay, I know, this all sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? It's like we're hardwired to fail. But what if there was another way? A more conscious, more intentional choice we could make instead of just defaulting to that defensive control talk? Well, good news, there is. And it's called dialogue talk. And this comparison just lays it all out plain and simple. It's a total shift in mindset. With control talk, your goal is to save your own skin. With dialogue, the goal is to actually solve the problem. The assumption goes from it's their fault to, hey, we probably both played a part in this. And the focus, it moves away from I need to be right and toward we need to understand each other. It's going from a fight to a partnership. Now, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Dialogue is not some clever trick to manipulate the other person into agreeing with you. It is a conscious, deliberate choice to manage yourself. It's about managing your own automatic reactions, your own emotional triggers, so that you can create the space for a totally different, much better outcome. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how in the world do you actually do this when you're in the heat of the moment and your blood is boiling? Let's get really practical. I'm going to give you two incredibly powerful tools you can put in your toolkit and start using like today. The first tool is an absolute game changer. It's called the assertive I message, and it's how you can express your truth, your feelings, your needs, your perspective, without attacking or blaming the other person and sending them into defensive mode. And this simple 4-step formula is your roadmap. Seriously, it's that easy. 1. Describe the specific behavior you saw or heard. No judgments, just the facts. 2. Disclose how that behavior made you feel. Use an I feel statement. 3. Declare the real, tangible impact it has on you. And 4. Ask for a specific change. This is how you transform a blaming you message like, you're so messy, into something clear and non-confrontational. So,
Tool number 2 is just as important. In fact, Professor Kho calls it the very heart and soul of dialogue. It's not just about shutting up for a minute, it's about active listening.
And this part is so crucial. Active listening isn't just about waiting for your turn to talk. It's about creating a safe space for the other person to feel genuinely heard. And that means you have to avoid these 4 common traps. Don't jump in with advice they didn't ask for. Don't interrupt them to argue. Don't tell them their feelings are wrong. And please don't hijack their story to make it all about you.
So now we've got the tools. But using them isn't just about being a more effective communicator to get what you want. It actually goes a lot deeper than that. It's about making a fundamental choice.
When you get right down to it, every single tough conversation gives you this choice. You can react on autopilot, letting your ego and your unconscious mind run the show with control talk. Or you can choose to respond consciously with dialogue. And as Professor Kho beautifully puts it, you can choose to add goodness to life. It's not just a technique, it's a choice about the kind of human you want to be.
And that brings us to this final, powerful thought. It's a little twist on a famous prayer, but it perfectly sums up everything we've talked about. The real power, the real breakthrough in any conversation doesn't come from trying to fix or change the other person. It comes from finding the courage and the wisdom to manage and change yourself. And that is a choice you get to make in your very next conversation.